Hi, it's Jen. Today I want to share with you a little project that I did on the weekend, and as you can already tell from the picture, it is a tag. Now, I do other things other than tags, but the reason for the tag is I needed to get some birthday tags ready for my personal life, so I came downstairs to my craft space and I challenged myself to use some bits and scraps that I have in my craft space. And because I want to be prepared when I need to send, get a gift ready, send a gift, and then that way I have something homemade prepared, because so many times I have good intentions of making a tag and then I get too busy and then I don't do it and then I just send a bought one, which is fine, but I really desire to make one for the person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mass produce one of these tags. Now, I don't know about you, but I find myself stressing out about coming up with a new design, making different birthday cards for each person, and I find that really hinders me and really paralyzes me creatively. And so I came down here on Saturday night, I challenged myself just to use some bits and scraps that I have around my craft area and come up with a birthday tag that I can mass produce. And if I need to tweak it along the way, I can. So this is what I came up with as my birthday tag for the year to give to any ladies that are in my life. So I'm just going to share you quickly, well, I don't know how quickly, but I'm going to share with you how I made it. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you some thrift store goodies that I got this past weekend. So how about we begin? Now I'm going to start right now with sharing you the supplies that we're going to use on our tag. And for the first thing is a thread, a scrap piece of tea-dyed paper that I typed happy birthday on, a scrap piece of dictionary page, reinforcement holes, scrap piece of scrapbooking paper, a scrap piece of material. I had some punch outs, that's why I went with the butterfly, because I already had these punched out, and the tag shape. Now the tag that I made with this one, the tag was already made, but I did have to make tea-dye some more paper for this video, just so you're aware. And then I have some vintage pink seam binding, some cheesecloth, a vintage piece of lace, and then what started the whole project is because I had these bits of natural jute on my desk and I was trying to figure out how I can use them, and this is the card, well, the tag that it turned out to be. And I don't know if you can see it, but the jute is right here for the antennas for the butterfly. So those are the materials that you need along the way. And then, so we're going to start with our tag. And I'll try to put the already made tag right there. And the first thing that I did is I sewed all around the tag. And I don't know if you can see it in this one. I'll try to bring it up. It's in off-white. I think it would have looked really nice in pink, but I was kind of too lazy to change my thread. So I'm just going to do it in off-white again. So I'm going to just go off to the camera and sew my tag, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I got it all sewed all around the tag, the outside of the tag. And then now what we're going to do is, this is something that I wanted to share with you that I bought on the weekend. I'll just put these off to the side for a second. I got this placemat from the Dollarama. So if you live in Canada, they have these placemats. And I had seen before where people take plastic pieces and they used it for stencils, and when I had walked by this and I thought, I bet you that would work. And so I did. It's really big. It's obviously for a placemat, but I thought if you don't want to keep this big placemat in your supplies, you could cut it into 4, and if you did that, you'd be able to get all the pattern on the egg and then share it with your crafty friends. But if you have the space, that's great too, because then you can do bigger pieces of paper. But so this is what I'm going to use as a stencil on my tag. So I just got to scrap pieces of book paper. I'm going to put my tag down. Now you won't be able to see a lot of this. I just wanted to add some more texture onto the tag without adding a lot of something, because I want the middle to stand out the most. So I didn't add any other paper behind it, like scrap dictionary page or whatnot. I just wanted to keep that center the focus. So I just took, and I got one of these makeup brushes from the dollar store as well. And then now I'm just going to, I don't want the flower shape on there, I'm just going for the shapes. And then the ink I'm using is Coffee by Ranger. And then, because I just want this subtle, I don't want it to overpower. And then I try to put it where you're going to be able to see it, because the flag is going to be in the middle, so I didn't want to concentrate. I don't know if you can see that. It looks really cute. So I did try to place it's just really subtle. Try to place the shapes where you're going to be able to see them. And it just adds a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to add one more spot up at the top here. I think we'll use this spot right here. So I'm curious about what you all have been making this weekend. Have you been working on a junk journal or anything smaller? You can write in the comments down below different things that there you can see that one really well. And then I'm going to turn over on the back and do the same thing. So now that I have just a little bit of stenciling on the tag, then what I did is I got my, just getting my pie plate out, I got my tag shape. Now I did write down, I didn't measure anything when I made this, but after I was done I measured it, just in case you're interested if you want to make one of these on your own. The tag size is the Tim Holtz Thinlits, and I will write down below exactly what set that is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece of paper at 3.5 by 1.5. So now I'm going to use this punch. It is to make flags. It's from Stampin' Up. You could just do this by hand, but I just stick it in here since I have it. Give it a good punch, and then there we go. And then I have the flag done. Then I'm going to get out my words. This is just, the paper is just school paper, 3-hole school paper. I just put it, I tea-dyed it, and then I just put it through my typewriter, and then I wrote out, typed out happy birthdays. My camera keeps on cutting off, so the last thing that I did is I just cut the edges of this paper off so I can punch out a happy birthday. And so I'm just going to stick this in my punch. This punch again is from Stampin' Up, and you can find them on Etsy. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can buy them anymore, this shape. They have different ones, and I'm just trying to get it so it's straight. There we go. Got the happy birthday done. The next thing that we got to do is punch out a circle. I did a 2-inch circle from a dictionary page. And I'm going to go this way. we go. And so this is, now this, something that I've realized, and there we go, is that my flag, I cut it a little, I forgot that that flag shape, the banner shape, it cuts off some of your paper, and so I did cut it at 3.5, but when you trim it into a flag shape, it's like it cuts 1/4 of an inch off. So I forgot about that, but that's okay. I'm going to make this work. The only thing I'm concerned about if I don't fix it is, yeah, it's going to be kind of scrunched. So I think I am going to find another piece of green. Alright, so I found another piece of green. It's not as cute or pretty as this one, but that's okay. And I'm going to punch this again. And that's what's great about working with our scraps. Even though that's not the shape or the length that I want, I can use it eventually in my... And there we go. That will work. Alright, I like that. Alright, so moving on. And then I have my 3 pieces, and now I'm going to just ink them all up. I'm going to take my coffee. Now, I was thinking about sewing around the banner, but because it's going to be somewhat covered up, I just didn't think it was profitable to do that. Now, if you would like to, that's totally up to you. And I just thought, because it's covered up, I wouldn't do that. Now, did anybody else go to the thrift stores this weekend? And if so, what did you buy? I know sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I go to the thrift store, you seem to find the same things that you already have. Like if you have a lot of material, there's really good buys on the material. Or if there's a lot of really cool books out, I just find that I gotta stop buying certain things because I have enough in my supplies now. So I think that the biggest thing that I'm looking for are ribbons. So that's my biggest thing. What is your thing that you need the most in your craft space? Asking a lot of questions today, ain't I? So you just tea dye all around those, and I think I just took my leftover and I just kind of went over I didn't cover it, but I just kind of made it look like tea dye. And then I'm having a whole bunch of problems today. I got a rip in that dictionary page. So I don't want to start out with a rip because, you know. So I'm just going to get a brand new page and punch a different hole. Circle. Even though I'm not going for perfection, I still want it to be nice, you know? Alright, I'm just going to carefully go over this again. This one's from a different dictionary, so it does look a little different. And that's okay. Just have to be careful with those brittle papers. Especially the older ones, because they do, like if you want to ink them or whatnot, they do tend to rip. Alright, and I got all the inking done. So the next thing that I did to get my cluster together, I'm going to gather my thread. This is deep green, and see how it's different than the green in the paper. I love that. And I'll bring all my other little bits and bobs. So before I even start my cluster here, I am going to put together the reinforcements for my tag. So I'm just have my plain reinforcements, and I'm going to use coffee ink. And I'm just gonna lightly go over them. Sometimes I do them a little dark, but this time, because I do like them to stand out, right? Not to blend in with the tag. Alright, so I'm going to, and while I add them, I am going to put a dot of glue on them as well. Just here and there. Just in a couple places. I don't need to put them everywhere because I don't want it seeping out, right? Because I don't want them popping off because of the tea dyed on our tag. And the opposite side. So all I do is I just put a little bit touch of glue on a couple places, because if it's just on a couple places it will still hold it, right? All right, that's good. And then what I did is I did glue my dictionary page down, and then I do try to make sure that I have enough space to put my happy birthday. Okay, so I'm going to glue it there. So I take my glue stick, I put it the glue on the paper, just because if I try to put it on the dictionary circle, I can see me putting it where it shouldn't go. And I just put a little bit on because when I put this in the sewing machine, I don't want to have to hold all the layers together. And I'm just going to hold it up, make sure it's centered. Okay. Okay, it's kind of over that way, but that's okay. Okay, and then the next layer, what I did is I laid down this piece of lace right there. This one's kind of bigger. I'm going to take my orange-handled scissors and play with it a bit. Because I don't need a lot of my my dictionary page to show, but I want a little bit to show, right? That's about right. Keep these bits because you can use them for your shaker tags. Alright, that I will put up a card up at the top of the screen. So I laid that down, and then what I did is I took my thread, my cheesecloth keeps on sticking to my fingers, and then I just wind it. Let's start with a nice edge, and then I just wind it around my fingers. Take it off. Now when I put it on here, I like to have, oh, that looks good. I like the thread to be a different color, like I said before, than my paper, because it just stands out that way, right? And I can trim things up as I go, so if things get a little too big here and there, that's okay. We can trim things as we go. And obviously that is going to have to get, and I do play with this for a while. I know I don't need to, but I want it to look okay. Okay, and then I'm going to get my cheesecloth out, and then what I'm going to do is just take a little piece rip some out here. I don't want too much because I don't want it to cover everything. Because sometimes if you use too big of a piece of cheesecloth, all it does is it just covers everything that you just did. Like this one's gonna do. Let me just cut that bit off. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut this. Now this piece of material, the size of it is 1.5, and then, no, I think that one was for the other one. No, sorry guys. So it's 3¼ inches wide and then 1.5 inches long we want. So I'm just going to cut that quickly. And then will this rip? Yep. And then I just put that right in the middle. And then I took my butterfly and the scraps that I have, the twine, and I did take some glue, some tacky glue from Eileen's. I just put a little bit of glue on the back side. All I didn't really measure this bit, I just folded it in half, and then you can trim it once it gets on your butterfly. So I just put it in there. And then I turn it to the front to see how wide I want it to be. And then I do trim it once it gets, I'll just shut this quickly. And then I just trim it once I turn it over. I don't want them too long because then maybe it looks kind of silly that way. So that's about right. And then what I did, after I glued them on, trim them, and then I took my ink dauber with coffee in it and I just inked them up. So they'll stand out a little bit more. And there we go. And then while I have the butterfly out, I'm going to, I forgot that I needed to tea dye her a bit too. Not tea dye, but to ink her up a bit. She's going to be the main focal point of this tag. So I wanted it to be inked up a bit. Alright, and there we go. And then that is done. Put her right here. And there we go. And I cut all this string and whatnot once I get it sewn. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to step off for a second and sew this, and you could put your butterfly straight, or I'm going to have her tilted this way right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it right in the middle of the butterfly, just a straight stitch, not zigzag. I'm just going to sew it straight down, and then a little bit I'm going to sew kind of down into the fabric as well, just to give it a good hold, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I don't know if I said this before, but when you sew it together, you're going to be sewing it just everything on the flag, not on your tag, because you're going to glue this on your tag. That way you don't have anything hindering you from writing a nice message to the recipient. So when you sew, you're sewing it right on just to the flag. And then something else that I want to make mention of, when you sew just down the middle here, and if you don't catch any of these strings, what I usually do is I just take my liquid glue and I just go in between here and then glue those strings down. Just right here and just glue them down. and then they won't move. And then there you go. And we're going to glue this onto the back, onto the front of the card. So all I do is I just took Aleene's glue again, just put it on, and I put glue on the thread so nothing would come apart there. And then just glue it down. I kind of like to put it on the tails here because I don't want them rounding up. Alright, and then we're going to glue it down on our card fronts. I'm just going to pick it up to make sure that it is straight. Not tilting. And then I just push down to make sure everything's in place. And there we go. And I'm going to just fluff up again because I did push stuff down to make it look like it has movement. And then I'm going to glue down the happy birthday right here that I just kind of want to let it get a little bit darker. I'm just taking my ink dauber and just kind of putting some ink on the front of it, and then I'm just going to glue it right there. Can be a little bit thinly, and just again I just used Aleene's. You can use this, would be good for your glue stick actually. And then I'm just gonna try to get it underneath here without getting glue everywhere. There you go. Then I'm going to add my ribbon and my charm. Now I wasn't going to show you how I did my charm today, but because I know there's a lot of tutorials out there. If you want to know how I do mine, just let me know. But that one's a pretty basic charm. I didn't want a lot of stuff on these tags because I didn't want it to take away from my focal point here. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm going to cut it just so I have room to work. And I don't know why, but I like using that double bow. I think it looks really pretty. And you can, I'm not going to do it here in the video just because this video is getting quite long, but you can, to make sure things stay where they need to stay, you can glue in between your bows, like right in here. So if you're pretty confident in the bows that you make, you can just glue down. This one is just not this one's fighting with me today. Alright. There we go. And then when I attach my charm onto the tag, I'm going to attach it onto my ribbon actually. I'm going to hold both of my tails because if you don't, they'll start to go all over the place. And there we go. And then I don't mind this one going all over the tails. I think it looks kind of cool. but you can fight with them. Just, there we go. Just depends what look you're going for. And then, let me see. I'm going to add my charm bit just to finish this part. And this is how I created that. Now, I know it seemed really probably piddly, but I'm just going to open this. These work out really fast on your own. Just hooked the jump ring through the ribbon there. And I'm just going to close the jump ring right back up. There we go. And so I like this one because it's a little bit bigger, that charm. See? Probably will use the bigger pearls, but yeah. I'm still fighting with my ribbon here. Anyway, you get the idea. There. And I love big bows on my tags. It's just something that I love. And there we go. And then here is our new one that we made. So now that I have the basic design thought out, and it's just playing with your colors, scrap paper that you're going to use for your flag, and then you can just go from there. Now, what I try to do is I try to have 3 green things on my tag. So you see I have the flag, the thread, and then some green in my butterfly. And then as well as the tea dye paper, I have the tag, the happy birthday, and then the dictionary page. And then as well as pink, I have the pink bow, pink fabric, and then pink on my butterfly. And then I think it all ties together. And then if there's darker pieces in in the butterflies, like on this one, I just consider that to be part of the tea dyeing as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that about the tag. I hope it wasn't too boring. I encourage you to go into your craft space and create a birthday tag and count how many that you have to give out this year, and make a bunch up at a time, and then that way they're there waiting for you. And then if you don't want to make up a bunch of birthday ones, what you could do is you can make the base of the tag, keep the sentiments off, and then stamp some sentiments or type or print out, and then just keep them in where you store your tags, and then just glue your sentiment on right before you give it to the person, so you don't have to do everything. So that was just an idea of a tag that you can make for giving away this year. And how I'm going to attach them to a little gift bag is by these little clips, paper clips, and I'm just going to attach it on the side, and yeah, I think that look really sweet. Well, that is it for the birthday tags. Now I was going to show you quickly a few things that I got at the thrift store. And one of the things that I always like to go see is the books. And so I got this book, and it's the Reader Digest Success with Houseplants, and it's because I really liked the pictures inside of it. The flowers are just really beautiful. So I got that. And then I purchased a roll of wallpaper, and they're only charging 50 cents, so I thought that was pretty good. And then I got this doily to use in my journals. That was really cute. And another set of doilies. Now I do have a lot of crocheted doilies, and I was given them for free, but I purchased this one is because I really liked the colors in it, and I just thought that was so pretty and so eye-catching, so I wanted to get that. And then another piece of crochet. Now I'm a crocheter and I understand how long things take, and when I saw these I couldn't pass these up. I thought they were so cute and I could use it in a journal I would make sometime. So I thought those were really pretty and cute. They were little dresses, and there's 2 of them, and they were only charging 50 cents for them. So if you're a crocheter, I know that you could appreciate that. And then a couple other things I got is this yellow eyelet lace. And there's only a little bit, but I really like that type of lace, is the material lace. That's my favorite. I do use the other stuff quite a bit, but this is my favorite. And then I got another a lot of lace for 50 cents, and it's this. It's another material, kind of like eyelet lace, but they only wanted 50 cents for all that, so I thought that was pretty good. And then I'm doing some journals right now, and I am needing some pink buttons, and so it was such a blessing. I got this bag of 6 and I needed 6, so that was a huge blessing. And they were 25 cents, and I know I could go to the store and get them, but I wanted to try at thrift stores first because, first of all, you can get them cheaper. And I was talking to thrift store employees, and she was telling me that if things don't sell, they do throw things into the landfill, like the garbage. And so that's why I'm an avid shopper at thrift stores, because there's things that we can use in our junk journals to begin with, but also to save those things from going into the landfill. And so I got those pink ones, and then I got just clear buttons. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them in the bag. I'll take a few out. I use these a lot in my journals, and I do have some of these in my button box, but I use them quite a bit, and I know I'm going to run out eventually. So when I saw these, and they have quite a few in the bag here, that I knew I could use those right up. And that is what I had gotten for my supplies for my junk journals. So I just wanted to let you guys know I am working on a journal to give away because I reached 100 subscribers, and it takes me a long time to do journals. I so admire ladies who just get journals out all the time, and yeah, so I am working on one. I'm kind of excited about it, so keep looking for that. I'm not going to promise a date where I'm going to have that ready, just because I want to make sure that it is complete and the way I want it, because even though I'm giving it away as a prize, I really want to make sure that it is done well. So I do appreciate you watching this video. I am having some journals come up. I do apologize for not having them on the channel just yet. It is one of those things for me, putting out journals, and it's fearful for me. So I am working up to it to release some of my first ones. But thank you for watching again, and I hope you give that little tag a try. And if not that exact same one, maybe design something for yourself and then mass produce it for the year, and then maybe as time goes on you can think about a different design for next year. So just something to keep in the back of your mind, so that way you're prepared and ready to go when a birthday hits. Don't forget, let's not throw away our junk, let's journal with it. Take care, guys.